Okay, so we're all technically and most accurately operating in the past, or there's a large portion of our interaction and our perceptions and our system operation is in the past. A little bit of a lag, because all the light that we are processing, experiencing and processing and interpreting and stuff like that, that's all most accurately described as previous light. It's light that already happened, okay, coming off the object. So now I want to use that to talk about a few complex ideas and how that ties into time and accurate understandings of time, and also gives us an idea of how our current sciences are studying and trying to figure out, okay, better and more accurate understandings and definitions of what reality means and what space means, the event space or space-time, and what it actually is, like literally better definitions of an ether, right? Because it's not enough to just say an ether. It's not enough to just say everything is energy. Okay, that's fantastic, okay? But, you know, we still need more specification and stuff like that, because there's more, everything is energy, but there's incredible uniqueness in that energy. Some with dynamic awareness that we actually call a life and a biology, while another side of it behaves differently, not like in a biological sense, or something else, right? Okay, so let's see. We all live in the past, maybe like just a toe or a foot deep. Some might be knee deep, and a select bunch are entirely immersed. But true, right? We're all moments or split seconds from a true present state, from a true origin source, or at the very least, an origin source from a particular level. So, meaning we know a 3D physical system may just be part of a larger amount of itself. So, I may see just the 3D amount of the coat rack that I see could actually be, the coat rack could be just part of a much larger or more extensive property, which may expand across many physical directions and stuff, which we can, at least in our classic 3D spatial sense, call dimensions. So, right? So, but nevertheless, relative to our 3D, okay, into physical space, we could still identify an origin source, or what part of that massive object that is, or a part of that massive object that behaves like the origin source. What's a simple way of how we can define behaves like an origin source? If we can affect it, and if it can have an effect on us, if we can interact with it, if we can change it, you know, if we can cause reactions to it, okay, then we're dealing with an origin source. We're dealing with, or we're close to dealing with some kind of origin source and stuff. If we interacting with it and stuff, and we find that we're not getting any results, like I explained in the other videos and stuff, and we find that we're destroying it or doing something to it and it's not changing anything, then what we're dealing with is not the origin source of it. What we're dealing with is just previous images, previous light and energy that already happened. And since it's not an origin source, we're not having any effect on the true state of its being, okay, in any kind of time or in the present sense or whatever. You know, but like I said, we're not having any effect on it, on the actual object, the actual thing, and stuff. So, right, okay. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. We can do this. We can do this. All right? You know how we talked about the light reflecting off of me, and also the radiant energy, light and stuff that I'm emitting and stuff? You know how that's happening? And you could look at that at one moment at a time, or whatever, but never whatever you want, but you understand that it's, okay, happening, and it's happening more than once, okay? So it's reoccurring, okay? And reoccurring doesn't mean it's repeating or identical, okay? It's just the emission, the energy, okay, relationships, the interaction and the energy as a result of that, okay, which really just describes the interaction, describes the work or the reaction happening, whatever, right? The effort, right, energy, right? Work that's being done to live, to survive, to stay, to keep stable, okay? All of that is shooting out of me, right? And shooting out more than once, so that we have, we have some kind of temporal nature happening as well. Always keep in mind that that temporal nature is happening spatially as well. It certainly is happening spatially. Relative to you, okay, the light that you're going to see, the first light you see is going to be the oldest light of me. The next light that you see in succession will be a little bit younger than the light that you had just seen. Get it? So there certainly is a spatial relationship. It's more than just one example of that, but certainly is a spatial relationship, physical, relationship to that temporal relationship as well, to that chronological order. All right. So here's the big point. Here's what I want you to see. You can understand that, right? You can see how, right? I'm reflecting off of me, coming to you. You get that, right? Now everything is doing that. Everything, every object, everything that exists in the physical, and it's doing, and it's like an orchestration of that. So it's not only just all these little objects and all these things in the room, but it's also in every scale, no matter how macro we go, to the point where it's, excuse me, to the point where it's the Earth, the solar system, the galaxies, they all can still be thought of as the same way as me in a singular sense, admitting. All of those things can be thought of as admitting. And then now, of course, you see where I'm going with this, and now we're just one step away from saying that, okay, and the same thing could be said for the range or parameter that we use to describe as a universe. Our universe and stuff like that. So our universe is also doing the same thing. So now, okay, let's just keep it simple and not get too complicated, okay, with the details of it, okay. But imagine, okay, I'm sitting in this chair right now, and I am a universe, right? And this entire universe is emitting a light. Right? All of its energy now. Now it's easy to understand. It's not just light. It's all of its energy. It's all of that, right? And everyone. So think about it like, let's just say in some kind of interval of time, a snapshot that we take. Okay, there was a succession, radiant, of the universe. Okay, there was 5 distinct moments in a snapshot that we took. Some kind of, a 5-second snapshot or whatever. There was 5 distinct moments, which, and we know, relative to an observer or whatever, okay, the first moment that observer seen was the oldest amount of energy, amount of light, amount of information, value of identity of the universe. And we know that the last one that the observer will see from the snapshot that it took, that last one, that will be the youngest, and that will be the most current, information of that universe. Now you understand. You see how the light emission and stuff that's happening for every individual little thing is also happening for everything as a collective. All right, and that is how our current sciences are trying to get an understanding about, reality and a really accurate understanding of multiple worlds, multiple universes and stuff like that. Because what it's trying to do is it's trying to say that the 5 moments, each of those moments contain the entire value of the universe. So it is very believable now that we can treat that moment as a place. It is not lacking much. Like I said, let's just keep it here for now, okay, without going into details, because there are plenty of actual details, and we'll get to them once we get to this. Maybe we'll just start with the comments, and then we'll have another awesome chat after that and stuff. But to start us out, we took a snapshot of a certain time, We took a certain time amount, it took a certain amount of time, we took a snapshot of the universe, and it showed us 5 moments. Each of those moments contains the entire value of the universe. After all, it's, you know, the entire emission of the universe and stuff. So, the big question and stuff is, how comprehensive, or what can we do with those moments, right? You might still subscribe to what I said about going back or going to a place that's previous light. We may be able to operate in the moment, and since that moment is incredibly comprehensive and might be actually functional and stuff. But think of it now, because I'm giving you fuel and food for thought with the previous ones as well. Think of it in terms of whatever we do there, okay? Are we interacting, and are we in what kind of relationship are we in to an origin source? Okay? You see what I'm getting at? So it can, one cool thing that I'll leave us with in a way is it can get to the point where I say, okay, I could put you in one of those moments, but I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be honest, right? I'm going to tell you that everything, no matter what you do, it will have no true meaning. It will have no ultimate effect on anything. But you can affect everything within that moment, in that world, in your universe. You can. And it will completely seem normal to you and everything, because you have everything you need there. You're not missing any value. It's all there. But I will also let you know, though, that it's actually not an origin source. It's not the original, though. You are completely living, you were living in a copy. You were living in a previous moment and stuff. Would you take it? Would you say, you don't have to know, not like in a conspiracy sense, or not even like in an ignorance sense or whatever. It will behave just like being in the real-time actual relationship one is. The only difference is, remember the example I gave you about you being able to go to the light bulb, crush it, and put an end, okay? You can do that in your moment, in that universe, okay? You can do that, but it will always be like a benign. It won't ever have a true, you won't ever truly put an end to that light bulb. Whatever you smash and whatever you kill in that world, you will not have actually killed the original, but you will kill it in that world. It will suffer pain or whatever. But the actual original, the origin source of that version, of that copy, okay, will still be alive. Would you take it? Or do you just want, no matter what, do you just want to be a part of the real shit? You want to be a part of, you know what I mean? You want to be connected to the real stuff. The original. I want to be part of the source, the original source. I don't know, man. I know my answer is, I want to be part of the original source. You know, I want to shake and bake with the actual, you know, not previous stuff. No disrespect to previous or whatever, but